What's up, everybody? This is Furious Francis over here from PlayerEssence.com, and I am actually on GameRant.com. It's actually a really good site. Check it out when you guys get a chance. Now, the topic of this video: Michael Pachter gets owned by Rick Sherlund. But first, what we have to do is talk about what Michael Pachter actually said. He says, as you can see right here in the title, Nintendo should exit the hardware business. This was made a couple months ago for no apparent reason. I think it's basically to scare shareholders or to basically bolster his own ego on his own predictions. But there's no reason why Nintendo should exit the hardware business. And I'm actually going to give you more proof to why Microsoft is actually going towards that way. But of course, Pactor will never admit it, and he won't ever talk about it. Now, Nintendo should exit the hardware business. This is what he said. He said Iwata is a pretty poor CEO, and he said that it really doesn't make sense for Nintendo to be in the hardware business. Quote from Pactor himself, it really doesn't make sense for them to be in the hardware business. So then I asked the question, so it makes sense for Microsoft to be in the hardware business? Yet their own investors are telling them to sell the Xbox division? No, this wasn't covered a lot by mainstream media because they don't want to cover stuff like this. It's Microsoft. $2 billion Microsoft investor wants to fire Ballmer and sell the Xbox division. If you guys don't know, Ballmer is on his way out in the next 12 months from Microsoft as the CEO. But the biggest thing that came out of this was the fact that they want to sell the Xbox division. Now, like I said, you guys probably don't know who Rick Sherlund is, so I'm going to go ahead and educate you guys. Rick Sherlund is a long-time Microsoft analyst, not a stock guy who makes predictions in his crystal ball, okay, and that barely plays video games. He is a long-time Microsoft analyst, and this is what Rick Sherlund said about Microsoft and the Xbox division. Xbox is cool, but by our estimates, Microsoft has not made any money at this. Quote, Xbox is cool, but by our estimates, Microsoft has not made any money at this. You would think somebody of Pactor's stature would have the same information that Rick Sherlund has. Pactor has claimed that Nintendo's not making enough money, that it makes no sense for them to be in the business, yet Nintendo profits $88 million. Yet the Wii U still isn't selling at anywhere near it wants it to be, yet they're still profiting very heartily off their 3DS. And things are only going to get better with all the software that's coming out. And actually things have already gotten better from Pikmin 3. I'll put an article if you haven't seen my sales report as far as Pikmin 3 goes to hardware ratio. So things are already getting better from that front. Yet Nintendo should exit the hardware business and Microsoft shouldn't. Microsoft isn't making any money on the Xbox division, according to Rick Sherlund, who's a longtime Microsoft analyst. Why isn't Pactor talking about that? It's just funny. It's really funny how biased he is and how so many people actually listen to him and agree with him. Yet he provides no proof. Even in his Pack Attack when he talked about it, he provided no evidence or proof to why Nintendo should even exit the hardware business. Yet he harps on it. According to Rick Sherlund, it looks like Microsoft should exit the hardware business because they're not making any money and their own investors don't even want them to be in it because it's a money suck, and I can understand why. Microsoft makes super expensive hardware, sells that hardware at a loss, then devotes millions upon millions of dollars into exclusive pieces of maps and DLC that might not even make that big of a difference when it comes to overall game sales. They lost $900 million on the Microsoft Surface tablet. Didn't hear Pactor say a word about that. Or at least not as much as he harps on Nintendo about things. Nintendo never lost $900 million on the Wii U. On top of all this, you know what else Pactor said? Pactor claims the eShop happened years too late. Years too late, huh? Yet that happens. Nintendo, our digital sales are soaring. Reggie Fils-Aimé tells us that Fire Emblem alone sold 80,000 units digitally. Also, the pace of Wii releases will increase dramatically. Yep, that's just Fire Emblem. Wait till digitally you can buy Mario, Super Mario 3D World. Wait till Wii Fit U, Wii Party U, Sonic Lost World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Pikmin 3 debuted at number 2 on the eShop charts at $59.99. I bought my version digitally. The fact that Pactor would say that the eShop happened years too late, yet Nintendo's digital sales are soaring, and a big part of Nintendo even profiting in the last quarter was because of digital sales of the Wii U eShop and the 3DS eShop. Yet he said the eShop is years too late. Based on what? Where are his numbers? None. The eShop numbers are fantastic. Earthbound is another game that's selling really well. Classic titles are selling really well. Nintendo's promotions, they're doing very good with the Digital Deluxe promotion, netting people $5 in eShop credit. I don't understand where he's coming with this other than just to slander Nintendo and try to just basically look good based off of what he said. But there's no evidence that the eShop is years too late. If anything, the eShop is doing fantastic. Now back to the topic here. Microsoft, $2 billion investor wants to fire Ballmer and sell the Xbox division. Where is Pactor talking about Ballmer should go? With all of the problems that the Xbox has had, let's just go over everything. The Red Ring of Death. Not making a profit on the hardware. Okay? All of the issues with the Xbox One. The damage control. The PR issues. The pre-orders that are really lagging behind the PS4. I mean, not that pre-orders mean anything because they don't. But the fact that Pactor hasn't even come out and, said anything about Microsoft as far as this goes. The fact that what Rick Sherlund said, the Xbox is cool, but by our estimates, Microsoft has not made any money at this. Yet he claims Nintendo's not making any money, yet Microsoft is the one who's not making any money on the Xbox division. That's why Microsoft and Sony blend their divisions to hide actually how bad those divisions are doing. They put up a bunch of numbers that make things look good, but yet you have somebody who is a trusted analyst saying no, things aren't looking good for the Microsoft Xbox division. That's why investors want them to sell it and focus more on the PC and things that they actually make money on. And of course, the mainstream media doesn't want to report on things like this, but the minute you have something hateful about Nintendo, they're all over it. Anybody who actually takes Michael Pachter as a credible source for something, as far as when it comes to the game sales and when it comes to what he says, it's official. He's not credible. Otherwise, he would have reported on this. I just don't understand the disparity between him saying that Nintendo should exit the hardware business and Microsoft is going to win next generation when they are not making any money off of the Xbox division. Yet he claimed just a few months ago that Nintendo should exit because they're not making any money off of it and it doesn't make sense for them to be in it. Well, that basically wraps it up here. If you want to get the full article of what I talked about and see what I was saying, please hit the description below. Rick Sherlund is an esteemed analyst and I am not making this up. Please hit the description. I will have links to all the articles that I talked about from Player Essence and on Game Rant. Plus, I think it's Game Industry Biz, which was the one talking about Nintendo's eShop and digital sales are soaring. Nothing from Pactor on that front, of course. Alright. Once again, like I said, check out playeressence.com all week. We've got, of course, new content coming, more topics, more articles, and of course, all the best news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. Make sure you check out our description below for our Facebook like page. When you like us on Facebook, you get all of our exclusive content sent straight to your PC, phone, or tablet. Once again, I am Fierce Francis, and we will see you guys on playeressence.com. Peace.